Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Chill Like a Mother podcast. Today, we are here with Jessica Dunn, who is all about living with less. And we are both neurodiverse parents. And did you know, audience, that it costs neurodivergent families 5 times more just to live based on social support and the resources and the physical items that they may or may not need? I mean, that in itself is so challenging, let alone all of the other like nuanced experiences that every family might experience in totally different capacities. For me, I am diagnosed ADHD. So is my partner. We have one of 2 of our children who are officially diagnosed, and living a neurodiverse life has so many layers to it that money is certainly part of it. It's like, I actually didn't even realize that until Jessica sent me this stat. Like, oh my goodness.
But you feel it.
I feel it. I feel it. And like literally just the other day, I was thinking to myself, how do all these people in my circle, who I don't know how much money they make, but like, I'm thinking like all these people in my circle are like, they're going on vacation, they're doing all these things. And I'm like, why can't I do that? And I'm like, oh yeah. We have like $500 of meds every month, and we all go to therapy that's sometimes covered and sometimes not covered. Like that in itself is an annual trip somewhere.
Yes, absolutely. Like we have here in Saskatchewan, my daughter is diagnosed with ADHD and autism. And if without that autism diagnosis, we would not have any coverage for any type of therapy. It'd be through our benefits, hopefully, if we have them, which we are very privileged to have. But like she only gets $6,000, and like that pretty much is used up by like April, May, the year, and the rest is like up to us to pay. And then we only get that till she's 12. So yeah, like just the therapy and meds alone would be a nice little trip somewhere. Let alone like any sensory supports you have at home, like special adaptations for like chairs and sleeping supports, sensory needs like swings and like weighted blankets, like all of this extra stuff. It's like it adds up in a hurry. Like, and then plus all the educational resources, all the books, all the seminars that you may want to go to, like all the training that you. It's just like it's insane. So just the money alone, if parents of neurodiverse kids, we feel we know how you're feeling. It's there. It is real. Like, so don't, I'm like, I got like a little bit of water in my eye. I would say that it's like, equivalent to, like a small little trip would be the best metaphor. I would say that you are paying every year. And like you have multiple people in your family, so not just one. You have multiple. So like, there's a lot. There's a lot to unpack there.
Yes. And I was like just saying this to somebody the other day. I was like, why can't we go on a trip? Like, why haven't we been able to budget for that? Like, cause we're pretty frugal with our money. Like based on the money coming in, we should be able to afford that. And I was like, why can't we? And then I was breaking it down. It's like, well, our benefits only cover the generic versions of our meds, not the branded versions. And we need the branded versions. We've tried the other ones. They don't work as well. Right. And so that's whatever it is, almost $300 a month just for that. And then anybody's therapy, we only have $300 a year for psychologists, or I don't even think we have coverage for social workers, which is ironic because I am one. But it's like $300 is like a session and a half.
Yeah. Plus, like also like certain clothes, you need to have specific clothing. You need to have, and food is a huge piece, as everybody that's in this neurodiverse community knows that majority of kids will only eat certain things, usually high priced branded stuff, but you're trying to get in nutrients that so you're paying for all this food sometimes that they aren't even eating. Like it's like it's such a there's so like every facet of life costs more.
Yes.
Yeah. I call it the ADHD tax.
Oh, yes. I'm actually going to start calling it that too,
Yeah.
because it's so true. Like even last night, I was like, I'm not cooking anything that you guys are going to eat. So just tell me what you want, and that's what I'm going to make. And it was chicken strips
I was gonna
and
say chicken
plain
finger.
butter noodles.
Oh, butter noodles.
Yeah.
Yeah, super colorful. Hey, I love the palette that they choose. Yeah, it's good.
Beige.
Yeah, beige over. Yeah, yeah. We're laughing, but we're not. We're dying inside a little bit.
Dying inside.
But yeah, it's quite a bit, and let alone so it's just not even the cost of things. Like being a neurodiverse parent is quite crazy. Like you've seen the stats that we've been looking at. There's just like if you're wondering why you're feeling tense and stressed more than your neurotypical parents or other friends that you have that are neurotypical, there's so much. Every little detail of your life is different, and you should give yourself grace. Is what I'm trying to get to here. Send this podcast to all of your to all your parents, your brothers and your sisters, the caregivers, the people that maybe don't know day to day what you're going through. Yeah, because there's a lot. There's a lot that goes through.
There's so much. And I'm actually going to read a couple other stats that Jessica sent me in preparation to the podcast. Neurodivergent parent burnout rates are double that of neurotypical parents. Parental fatigue rates for neurodivergent parents are approximately 83% higher than neurotypical families. Symptoms of depression and anxiety are up to 150% higher. And special needs parents have the equivalent trauma of a soldier on the front lines. And I can absolutely speak to the physical, visceral body reaction that I have to any anticipated or preliminary sensory need and or meltdown.
Yeah, absolutely. Like you feel it coming. You feel like every part of your body feels it. And it's like, yeah, like any person that is a parent with kids that are on the spectrum or ADHD or any sort of neurodivergence knows that it's like a lot of the time you feel like you're walking on eggshells and you just don't know when that bomb is going to go off, no matter how good you are at controlling their environment or controlling yourself and keeping yourself regulated and watching for the signs of things. You're never going to be able to put them in a bubble. They have to live in this world that is not very kind to neurodiverse people. And yeah, you feel it. You feel it in I'd say every cell of my body can feel it when the sensory meltdown is about to happen. And they're intense. This isn't a tantrum. This is completely different. Yeah. This is something that your kid is going through, like, I'd say like a nervous system overload where like they're in fight or flight, and you just have to ride that wave and be there for them and let them go through it. But it is the most intense thing I've probably ever had to experience as a parent, for sure. Yeah.
I have literally had to hide myself and my younger child when things were undiagnosed. Out of like safety and protection, because there was no reaching him. And then he would through it, and it was just like everything's back to normal.
Yeah,
like we didn't just experience what we just experienced for 45 minutes, right? And it's like back to being sweet and kind and caring and loving and exactly who he is at his core.
Yeah,
but when that hijack happens, it is like, okay, we're in it. We're in it for like a half an hour, 45 minutes, and we just got to get through it and not add to the, not to add to the situation.
Well, and that's another thing is like, why do you feel like this? Well, yeah, because you're so heightened. Like, how do you keep I was like, well, you should just co-regulate with them. Like, you can't
be
regulated in that state when your kid has completely, it's like a switch has turned on in their brain. I like how you use the word hijack, because that is like exactly how it feels. Like one minute they are like your kid and the next they're not. Like they're fighting for their life. They feel so threatened by something in their nervous system. And it's like they have to ride that, like I said, ride that wave. And like what you're doing is like barricading your house, hoping they're safe, hoping you're safe, hoping the other kids are safe. It's probably like, yeah, it's the craziest thing I've ever experienced, and nothing has really helped her get through it except for me being there and just feeling what I'm feeling. And like I don't hide my tears. She sees them, and it actually kind of like almost reboots her. It's like, oh wait, there's mom, and she's scared, and she's crying. Like I can like she can really see that, and like it's almost like a reboot. Oh yeah. Oh wait, I'm Evelyn. I can control this. I can calm myself down with all the coping tools she learns in OT or wherever you learn your skills from. But like in the moment, she's not using those things. So you have to be calm. I remember like last week I was at a conference and I was sitting with some grandparents of kids that are neurodivergent, and they were asking me how things are, and I'm like, oh yeah, like my daughter, like she's like saying my daughter has been through some pretty intense physical things. I'm like, yeah, I've had bruised ribs, I've had like things thrown at my, like that's just normal stuff that happens with women and men that are parents of neurodiverse kids. This is what we go through every day. Not every day, but like this happens for a majority of parents. And people don't understand, like, oh my God, like that's what you do. Like, yeah, this is our normal.
This is normal. Like this,
normal.
And I think every family, being a therapist who works a lot with either parents who self-identify or have been diagnosed neurodivergent, or they're going down that path with their children. Every parent has a unique experience based on whether it's them or their child. And there are these notable challenging moments within families, right? For us, it's mornings and bedtime.
Right.
For other people, it's school.
The transitions, probably.
The transitions, right? Yeah. For other people, it's like, we can't do extracurriculars. You know, there's always something that's just like a little bit atypical, right? Something like that, like other families don't even have to think about, right? They're in 5 extracurriculars if their budget allows, and it's no big deal, and they get there and they arrive and they participate and they come home, and you know there's all of this just like typical experiences, which might include like meltdowns or like some crying or I don't want to go, but it's not to the level that neurodiverse families experience that. Like if I am dysregulated in the morning, it adds at least a half an hour to the whole situation. Right. And so it's not just a matter of like shutting it off and getting to school or getting somewhere on time. It's like, that shift in nervous system, I know it's going to take 20 to 30 minutes before I like feel back at baseline.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think that's another reason why neurodivergent parents feel the way we do is we ourselves are probably neurodivergent. Because it's a hereditary thing that we pass on to our kids. So I really wish that even when your kids get diagnosed with something, that they should be looking at the parents and be like, okay, when are we going to test you? Because
on grandparents and like literally, like, let's just take this all the way back.
If you want to, like, it explains a lot, right? When you look back, but to say that things are just like you were saying, it's just easy for a lot of people just to get up and go and do their things. Well, like we have talked before on past podcasts where we've like lived a day before even 9 a.m. most days, whether it's the morning situations or sensory things with clothes or food or just the anxiety of getting from one place home where it's safe to another on the bus to school is like, it's very intense. So even just before 9 a.m., your parents are like, can I have a drink? I'm joking. But like, it can be so tense. And if you also are neurodivergent, like the timing it takes for your nervous system just to like calm down yourself is huge. Like some parents could just like roll it off their backs and go to work. It's like, I need like half an hour just to decompress and then I can go back to my day. Like, right. So it's just in the morning alone dealing with that. And just even the dealing with breaking down every little executive functioning skill. I don't think people understand what that means. So I'll just use an example. Like for the morning, we have to break down brushing your teeth is like a 4-step process. Brushing your hair, putting on your socks is like that's a 10-15 minute thing sometimes because you don't like the sensory seams in your socks. Just get doing the basic things and breaking it down. You can't just say, go get ready for school. You can't just say, go do your homework. You can't say, go clean your room. You have to be very specific with small little steps for these kiddos to make some success in their day and make it fun and exciting. Like that's a full-time job in itself. Just
gamifying everything.
Gamifying everything. Gamifying everything. Oh my God. So like, and you have to change it up too. You can't just have the same game for laundry. Like, so it's like, you have to have, that part is exhausting too. And I don't think it's like a decision fatigue times 15. Like it's just so much to do. And that's when you see those burnout numbers. That is why. Because like, and it's not just like once in a while. Like that's a daily thing for most neurodivergent parents is having to do that. And that's why we live so minimally. Because like we can have a house full of stuff and deal with all of our like possessions when like we have to break little things down on a daily basis to take care of our things. Like there's just no way I could function myself, let alone her. So like it's just so much for us to cover for sure.
Absolutely. And so living with less is one of the ways that you prevent and manage some of that like parental burnout. But like you said, sometimes it like ebbs and flows, right? I think
it does.
I think that in a certain ages and stages of children, for me anyway, and the clients that I work with, sometimes it doesn't go away. Like it's not like you can go away for a weekend because, you know, when you go away for a weekend, you're like regenerated and reset and all the things, you can come back to real life, where this is like real life is just always extra hard, right?
Yes.
And so living with less is one of the ways that you mitigate that.
Yeah, we try.
Yeah.
I mean, as best as we can. I found even like when she was early getting diagnosed, I found that like I've always lived kind of minimally, but like it gave me this time and space to really watch her and be like a social detective and seeing like what was her triggers. And I was more in tune with things because I had time to do it because I didn't have to constantly be cleaning my house and organizing it, and I didn't have as much stuff on my plate, and so it was good for me to just focus on her. So living minimally gave me time to do that, and it still does. Like now, like she needs a lot of connection and one-on-one time, and I'm able to do that because I don't have to constantly be cleaning my house and organizing. And we actually, even this year, we've been really pushing extracurriculars for her for the longest time. And this year we don't have any. This fall, we gave her a breather. And all she does is just like climbing on Sundays if she wants to. So like even just clearing our calendar and minimizing that stress of like where to like pushing like where she has to go and where she needs to be all the time and giving her space to breathe has given us intensely more time to just calm ourselves, which was, you know, in the hustle bustle, everybody's in 18 different things. And like, it's not just like dance is an hour a week. No, it's like always like everybody's like an elite athlete at this point. So it's like, you can't even just do like rec stuff most of the time.
Rec stuff.
You just like go play. Just go play.
At this age, I am really finding that too, Jessica. Like
it's hard.
Past this age, so he's 9 now. I was looking for like rec things, and there's almost nothing.
Yeah, it's hard. It's tough. And it's like, okay, so you can't be in dance because these kids are going like 5 times a week.
And they've been going for 5 years.
Yes. And like we're like either we're way behind or we're dragging them down. Or because she can't commit all the time. Like we can't be there all the time. We just, with her diagnosis, we can't. Some things, like the one thing we have actually has been going really well is flag football, because it's not so intense, and it's great. But like hockey, ringette, like anything that's like into with Saskatchewan sports, baseball, all that, like it's not going to be in our life with her.
Yeah.
It's just not, and that's fine. But like pushing that on them just so they can have some social skills is, I'd rather just let her go and play. So, but yeah, like there's just so many little things that every neurodivergent parent is going through. So if you know somebody, check in on them, because they more than anybody need some sort of respite, even if it's just like a half-hour walk, just going outside. Your amazing programs with art therapy is huge, just to get out all of that bottled up feelings that you have inside, whether it's journaling or expressive art. I think that's a huge great outlet for any neurodivergent parent to be like, I need to get this out of my body, because you're storing it everywhere, and it's just like, if you get it out, you feel so much better, and you're more set for the next time.
Absolutely. And it's so accessible. That's the thing, is that you can, like, if people are interested, they can do it. Like, I've done it with a Post-it and a pen that happens to be in my car, like it doesn't have to be this big convoluted, complicated thing where you have to go to Michael's and get a canvas and get all the right paint. And no, it's like I could do it right now with what's around me. I could ask you to do it with what's around you right now, even if you don't even have something to write with. Like, just that dropping into the imagination world, or the world of creativity and curiosity, like even just talking out a metaphor, with someone can be like, man, I just feel like my favorite metaphor of all time from one of my clients was, I feel like I'm walking Everest with sandals on. That is what it feels like to parent a neurodiverse child. And I was like, all you got is sandals. That's all you got for that whole journey.
Yeah. And I feel like your art therapy is so great, because being a neurodivergent parent is very isolating. And like, even if you don't have that core group of support that you need to rely on that day, you can always go to art. You can always go to writing. You can always go to something to get your parasympathetic nervous system going in a different way. And that's all you can do. It's all you can do.
Yes.
There's going to be, like you said, it's a roller coaster. There's no even keel here. Like we can go, like you're saying, we can go weeks without having, like, you almost think, like, you almost forget that there's a diagnosis there. And then all of a sudden, like, if their sensory needs are not met, then you will feel it. Like you will see a storm coming. It'll be a brewing. You won't even know. So I feel like that's a huge piece to why these stats are so high, is we feel such intense guilt, isolation, grief even. I feel like I have micro griefs all the time about where I thought she should be at, or where in my mind where I thought like where our life would be. And it's like, it's not that I'm grieving her, but I'm just like the expectation of what could have been, right? But there's also new things coming, and the great things that she's going to do too, right? So that's so exciting to see too. But you feel it all. You feel all of this. Like, sometimes there's anger, there's frustration, there's anxiety, but then there's like this hope across the rainbow too, that it's like, what's going to be in store for her. Like, maybe she'll like be an incredible doctor one day, or like, we don't know. Like, we don't know where she'd go, right? Like, she's incredibly intelligent and super funny and like so creative. Like, who knows where she's gonna go? So it's like you feel like you're in a storm right now, but there's going to be a rainbow there too. Like they're going to get through. It's just hard. It's just a hard go for the first bit here.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Oh, thank you so much for joining us on the podcast again to share wisdom around parenting in this way and all of the things that we experience and how we navigate or just hold on.
Hold on for dear life.
Just hold on.
Find a friend that's going through the same thing as you. It will help for sure. And just find that outlet. Like I said, like even if it's, like you said, just jotting down things, whether like it's something small or it's something if you need to go and get your body moving in some way, have a dance party by yourself. It doesn't matter. Like find something that you're going to be able to calm your nervous system with, because this is no joke.
Yes.
You are a soldier and you're going to get through it.
Yes. Yes. And I think it's really important to highlight that there are so many parents going through this. And I know that it feels isolating, kind of like when you're in the newborn phase, you feel like you're the only person up in the middle of the night.
Yes.
But there are people probably in your neighborhood, probably right across the street, probably your kid's best friend, because we all attract each other. Neurodivergence, we
do.
come like together. We attract each other. And there are other people in the community going through what you're going through. And there are so many supports, even free ones. So if anybody is navigating this on their own and you don't want therapy from me, or you don't need anything in that respect, but like I have resources coming out of everywhere. And so if anybody listening just needs a resource or a person or an account to follow, like I have so many. So you feel free to reach out to one of us. We know lots of people in different communities that can support, and free, and even like good books to read, kids books too. I have lots of kids books to read too. So if anybody needs any resources, please reach out and send this to a friend, send this to a grandparent who needs a little bit of a context to what you might be going through every day, that maybe you're tired of saying it. But yes, please reach out to us if you need anything. And hold on. Hold on. The rainbow's coming, I promise.
It's coming.
There's glimmers of it if you can see it.
Thanks for having me on. Appreciate it.